It's the info man and the lion's den. 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 It's the info man, yup, it's the lion's den. Yup, you can vote with us, no, so stop trying then. Still, it's the info man, yup, it's the lion's den. Yup, you can vote with us, no, so stop trying then. Still, if we wait, so they try to infiltrate with hate. Not my little play, but we do not take the bait. Don't hesitate. When it's time to do it, we still do they bullshit like I was done for it. Wait a minute, Lions Den.
Tell the truth.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute, Lions Den. Wait a minute. It's the info man and the Lions Den.
Tell the truth.
Info man and the Lions Den. It's the info man and the Lions Den. It's the info man and the Lions Den. Raise your ass up. I told somebody.
Tell the truth.
No dream. You can't fuck with Lions or info team. Raise your ass up. I told somebody. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lions or info team. Raise your ass up. I told somebody. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lions or info team. Raise your ass up. I told somebody. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Lions or info team.
Tell the truth.
Information is power.
Tell the truth.
It's the info man and the Lions Den. It's the info man and the Lions Den. It's the info man and the Lions Den. It's the info man and the Lions Den.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
That's what we're going to do today. We're going to tell the truth, folks. Welcome to the program. This is Information Man. I hope all can hear me. Let me go and do something real quick because I think I need to make sure that my mic is connected properly. And let me see some other areas I need to connect properly. There we go. I think a little bit of a boo-boo there, but I think I'm all connected. I think hopefully you could hear what was going on in the beginning of the show. If not, we are on live. We're on Spreaker. I want to say peace and love to everybody out there in Spreaker that are listening to us. This is part 2, myself, Information Man, and the Locheadbosslady. But guess what? We got another special guest on, my man, Lions Den. I know some of you out there think that me and Lions Den are an end deal, that we're not brothers together. Hell no. We're going to always be brothers together. He's doing his thing on his channel. He's a married man. He's living married life. And so sometimes, you know, when you're a married man, that takes, that's important. You got to, you know, you got to do what you have to do, but he's going to be my brother always. And we got him on. He was able to come on at the last minute here. And I want to thank brother Lions Den. We go back 9 years now. We go back to US Talk Network. Okay, brother Lions Den Mays got in contact with me just a week ago in one of my chat rooms, found me by accident. And she brought back the old days with Alpha, India, and Miss Graham. We go way back with Blog Talk Radio. So this is not no new thing for myself or Lions Den. We just brought our what we do over to YouTube. But most importantly, we got the boss, the Locheadbosslady, on with us for part 2. We're going to talk about Black family. We're going to talk about YouTube issues. We're going to get into the issues of ADOS to get her perspective. We're going to get Lions Den perspective. We're just going to make it a really good time as Black people coming together to talk about these issues. So while I disembowel or take loose the thumbnail as you're looking up there, I'm going to have Lions Den. Lions Den, if you can unmute yourself, brother, and go ahead, and you're going to be deeply involved in this discussion, brother Lions Den. You're not going to be just sitting back here, but go ahead and give a little love to everybody in the chat room before I introduce Sister Locheadbosslady. I know she's got some of her people in there that are awaiting our program. So go right ahead, Lions Den. If you can introduce some of the folks in the chat room that are coming in so far. Thank you.
Roar on your radio. I'm Lions Den. I am back.
Maybe we got some technical problems. Lions Den, can you hear me?
Lion Info, can you hear me?
Let me see here. All right. Let me disengage from the avatar. I don't think Lions Den is hearing me. Let me just disengage. Are you there, brother?
Oh, I'm here, Info. Can you hear me?
Oh, yeah, I've been I've been calling you for about a minute, but it's okay, brother. Go ahead and as I'm gonna have you deeply involved in our discussion with Sister Locheadbosslady. Go ahead and introduce some of the folks that have come into the chat room as we get ready. I'm gonna introduce her with a roaring clap in a moment as I get ready to dislog the thumbnail. Go right ahead, brother.
Yeah, this is Lions Den from the Far East, now in the middle Tennessee. And I'm going to get a shout out to all the chat people in the chat room, the real Aaron Collins, the educated smoker, Joe Whitfield, Candy Shell, Namar Buckner. Let's go straight down on CC Uncut, Lori Alex, Alpha Omega, the underrated darkness, Art New Song. That's all is up there, Info.
Okay, let me
Little Rock
disengage.
215 Little Rock 21517 is in the building as
All
well.
right, peace to him. Let me disengage the avatar from the screen, and now we are on. And what I want to do is just say I'm glad that the Locheadbosslady is with us. So let me give her a much respect clap to her. She's a great sister. Okay, sister. It almost looked like we weren't gonna be on this morning, but things have a way of working out. How you doing this morning, sister?
I'm good, brother. How are you today? How's everybody in the chat? Happy Sunday to everybody. Peace and blessings to everybody today.
All right, I'm glad to have you here. Wow, the last time we talked last week, it was a really good show. We got into some issues. And there was a lot more that you had to say that was on your mind, and we ran out of some time. But as it relates to the Black family, I know you have 2 sons.
Mm-hmm, I do.
Okay, you have
a son, one in college and one in high school.
Okay, do you have a daughter, if I'm not mistaken?
I do. She's in college as well.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I'm doing my job.
Can you tell us? Let's for the naysayers out there. How are your sons, in particular your daughter, how are they doing in school? I mean, they're in college and they're doing the damn thing.
This is the thing. People always assume when a single Black woman who's raising their children, because you know that I do twerkouts on my channel. Yeah. So the misconception is, oh, she's twerking. She's just you know, I'm not gonna say the words, things that I'm not. But I'm actually a single mother. And I twerk with a purpose, but I also raise my children with a purpose. Both my older kids are in college. And when my younger son graduates, he's going to college as well. Okay. Education, I don't play with that. I'm trying to raise these kings and queens, and I'm trying to make sure that their path is laid out for them the best of my ability. I don't have any, you know, rich uncles or rich aunties or anything like that. So I want my kids to carve their own path out for themselves and for their generations to come. So I feel like, you know, the first thing you do is I always tell my kids, be a sponge. Use school as much as possible. Take advantage of the situation that you have. So you suck it up like a sponge. Take all the information you have with that and go out into the world and use it for your good. So all 3 of my kids know that education is very important to me. Now, my younger son is into sports like track and football, and all that is fine. I love all that. But at the end of the day, I want my kids to fall back on their intelligence and everything they learn in school and whatever I teach them, because that's the only way I want my kids. I want my kids to make it based on that, not based on other stuff. I want them to be, their intelligence to get them through what they have to do. That's really important to me. As black children, as a black man I'm raising, and as a black woman I'm raising, I want them to break the mold. I want them to be different. I don't want them to be the atypical black child. I'm sorry. I want them to be shining and doing everything else everybody else is doing, because it's possible. The opportunities are there. People just don't take advantage of it. So when they have an opportunity to go to college, I'm like, oh yeah, you're going to college. You're going to college.
Okay, let me ask you this question. It may be controversial, but this is the thing, sister. You probably have noticed on these YouTube streets that within the manosphere, black, we do tend to talk about single motherhood sometimes as it relates to black males. When a black male grows up in a matriarch versus a patriarchy, does that somehow make the black male weak or sort of soft when he has only the influence of a female energy? Because we know that in the universe, you have to have the masculine energy versus the feminine energy coming together to balance. Where if it, I know for me it was sports. There were men in my life that mentored me. Where do your sons in particular? Where is some of the masculine energy that they're getting in their life? Because as a woman, you're doing as a mother, as a black woman, as a woman, you're doing the best you can. You're doing a hell of a job, from what I'm hearing. Where are they getting that other balance that is necessary for a young black male?
They get it from their father. We work together. We work together as parents. We don't have to be together to make sure our children are successful. And we can work together as a family. My mother, myself, even my sister. It takes a village. That's actually a true statement. There's not enough. A lot of times mothers are doing it by themselves. But think about, even you go back as far as the slave times. Anything, I can even go back as far as my dad's age or whatever. I can remember he told me a quick little story about how he had tried to skip school or whatever, and his parents was unaware of it. But people in the neighborhood saw him there, and he got in trouble with them. There's no longer that kind of village mentality where we're all looking out for each other's kids. So I'm lucky and I'm blessed that I have my mother, my sister, and I have their dad that's involved in my kids' life. So they do have their dad as far as the male influence. If anything is popping off, I got a few uncles that kind of step in sometimes as well. So there is that male influence there. I do believe that they have to have that. I don't think I can do it by myself. I know a lot of women are strong, and I get that. We're independent. I get that. But, I have two boys, and I am realistic. They do need that male presence in their life. So I make sure they have it.
Okay. Lions Den, brother, you have any questions for the sister around family issues? Anything that's on your mind, brother? Go right ahead.
Yes, sister, I was wanting to ask you a question because I'm also been raised by a single parent myself. And I've noticed that, when it comes to unarmed black men and women that was murdered by police, and I know our parents teaching us how to, talk to the police, how to respect the police.
Mm-hmm.
Explain, sister, did you ever explain to your children about how to respond if a police is stopping them for no apparent reasons?
Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you. I've told my boys this, and my daughter, 'cause I know she's a woman, but still stuff. We have had some women disappear with the police. So I've told all three of them, and look, I tell them in a minute, if they come to your window, always have your hands on the steering wheel. Do not engage, and don't be, talking noise and all of that. You make your words about as plain as possible. If they come to your window, whatever they're doing, let them say what they got to say, and then you do what you're told. But I've also told my kids before, and I don't care how this sounds, if you think there's something suspicious happening, they're coming to your car, I tell them, don't reach down, don't reach for anything. And my kids, all in their car, they have their phone set up the way my phone is set in my car. And I said, push come to shove, hit that record button. They can't stop you from doing that. They cannot stop you from recording anything that's going on. I don't care if they have a body cam on or whatever. For your own safety, you can go ahead and start recording. If you think it's all that, go live on some social media. I've told my children this because it's too many times things have happened and people are like, well, what happened? Or the body cam all of a sudden was turned off at a certain time or whatever's going on. But I do tell my boys that I have my son is really big, like tall, strong black man, and a young man, but I tell them all the time, your size and how you carry yourself, nothing is wrong with you. But to the world, you could look like this big old black man is about to attack an officer, because they use that a lot. I feel like I was in danger or whatever. So I always tell my boys, do not get upset, lose your temper. Don't give them a reason to say, oh, well, I feel like my life was in danger. I didn't know what they were going to do. They were reaching or whatever. So I tell my kids all the time, keep your hands on the steering wheel. Make sure they can see your hands at all times. Whatever they tell you to do, comply. Okay? Because if anything puts them to show, we can always go back and dig. But if you're doing stuff to make them want to arrest you or try to use an excuse, no, don't do anything. Don't engage, nothing. Just, I tell my kids that all the time, all three of them, not just my son. Even though I do tell my sons it's a lot, because I feel like the generation of kids, I've heard kids speak about this, like, oh, I heard a boy say one time, oh, it's the police. They're not going to bother us. That bothered me. A young black man said, and not my kids, but I was picking my kids, but I heard another young man said, I said, that's not true. You really should not think that way. That's not my kid. I couldn't really address him. But if kids are thinking like that, that generation, that's scary to me, because the generations coming up, they're going to be driving cars and out and about and have to deal with police one-on-one. My fear is these kids are going to get in trouble, because they're looking at it like it's blase, oh, it's nothing. I heard a kid blow it off like, oh, it's the police, say nothing. People are losing their lives behind this, and these kids are not taking it seriously. And that's my fear.
Also, the biggest fear that I have is that, because I have two stepsons that are like my sons to me. And I have to teach them as well that, we have to raise them as our own to make sure to look at our surroundings when it comes to police officers. The question I want to ask is that, when it comes to that, how can we teach other kids to say, we need to just respect the police officers, even though they're in the wrong. But you also have to basically teaching them, listen, or always comply no matter what they want you to do.
That is going to be really hard, because a lot of the kids, to me, the next generation coming up, even though it's been so serious the last 3 to 4 years, I guess, this generation, to me, are looking at it like it's nothing. They brush everything off so easily. Nothing is taken seriously. And sadly, they're kind of like numb to hearing children getting killed. So I can't even use that as, okay, 14 for the police or whatever. I can't even use that, because the kids are now numb. We are all numb to it, unfortunately. So the kids are numb to this world. So that's going to be difficult for the next generation. I'm really lucky now that my kids are getting of age now. I mean, my kids are kind of going off, but for the ones that are coming up, I love to talk to anybody's child. If I see a child, a friend of mine, or anybody that I know that's a young child, and I hear him say something that's I don't agree with, I might not necessarily go to that child. It's not my place. I may go to the parent and say, hey, I heard your kid say this. I know they're my place. I'm not trying to step on your toes, but I'm afraid of that young brother for what he's saying about the police or whatever the situation is. I just give my input, because that village thing is always in my head. It takes a village to raise a child, especially these single moms like myself. Even though I'm blessed with the people I have behind me. Not everyone has that background like I have, the people that's behind me the way I do. So I love to help out other mothers if possible. Now my kids are getting grown. I have no problem with a young mother. People do hit me up and ask me questions because they know I'm older and I do have older children. So all I can do is try to mentor young mothers and young boys the best of my ability. That's all I can really do. That's all I think for anybody can do, because we are, like I said earlier, we're so numb to this. Seeing a black child or a black person getting killed, it's sad to say that, but for us, it's like an everyday thing now. It's like we're in the 60s or something like that, I feel like. I swear.
Let me ask you a question, sister. It's another controversial question.
Okay.
I heard you say you're a single mother, but the father of your children, your sons, your daughter, is in their life, and he is playing a role in their life.
Right.
My controversial question, and this is no disrespect to you or any women out there, but I often hear sisters say, I'm a single mother. But if you have the father in the life of your son, your daughter, your children, and he's a pivotal part, then the question is, are you a single mother in the truest sense, other than the fact that maybe they live with you and the father may not be in the household every day, but the father is involved? For example, I was married for 15 years. I've been divorced going on 11 years. My ex and I had an amicable breakup. I have no drama. I have an 11-year-old daughter. My daughter, I've been in her life from day one. I take care of my business. She's on my health insurance. She's on my life insurance. I've got things prepared for her. Education wise, I'm there. Right. I'm taking my daughter to, when she's sick, I'm taking her to doctor's appointments. And I'm not saying this to say, hey, this is a badge of honor. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do as a father, right? If the mother can't make an appointment, I'll sacrifice and leave work to step in for my daughter. I go to school for parents conference. I'm there every step of the way from sports. So therefore, wouldn't that mean that my ex-wife couldn't technically define herself as a single mother? Because to be a single mother means that you're doing everything completely by yourself with no assistance from the father. Now, I know that's a controversial question I'm bringing up.
No, it's fine. I want to respond. I to me, consider myself to be, I'm a single woman. I'm not dating anybody. I'm not married. So when I say single, I equate that as my status. I am single. I am a mother. That doesn't have anything to do with the fact that the father is in my kid's life. We are raising these kids together, or we're almost done raising them together, but we're both single. We're not together. So that's why I say I'm a single mom. And I can understand what you mean by that, because I don't, when I say it, I do kind of I don't put him out of it. I do say I'm raising my children with my family and with my ex. I don't call him baby father. I don't say that. That's a word that I cannot stand. The father of my children and we are raising these kids together. And yes, I am a single mom. I don't know what I would call it if I say I was dating somebody. I never thought about it. You said just now.
Yeah. I'll be honest with you. I hate that word. I grew up, I'm 49. I grew up, I was a little kid in the late 70s. Became an adolescent or junior high school through the 80s. I was in high school in the early 80s and my 20s in the 90s. And there was a time when you never heard this term, baby mama. And it seemed like it all of a sudden it came out of nowhere as a baby mama. And I'm gonna tell you where this shit came from. I believe it came out of unfortunately, some of the negative rap culture, where you had these rappers talking about baby mama. And what we do in American society is that we get a lot of our values and our ideology and the way we talk from this pop culture we call rap music, that some of us think is completely our culture. And I'll be honest with you, this whole baby mama ideology is not part of Black culture.
No, it's not.
It's coming out of the
90s.
Came out of the 90s. It comes out of entertainment, where you have these people in entertainment using these highfalutin phrases that we adapt as a part of. And Black people, we've got to get out of using highfalutin phrases that come out of entertainment to use to define our community. And that's a problem that we have. And my solution is that we have to cut it loose. And the only way to cut it loose is to go through our children to cut the ideology. I'm not one of these Black people that believe we're going to clean everything up trying to change the minds of old heads. I believe that it must come through younger
babies.
We got to change their mind. Now, we do need some old heads who got some sense about themselves to change the mindset of our younger people. What are your thoughts? Lionsden, what do you think? Locheadbosslady, what are your thoughts?
Go ahead.
I do agree with the babies. We need to go to the babies first. I completely agree with that. Some of these old heads are kind of lost. We'll get into that by YouTube as well. You just kind of made me think.
Oh yeah, I want you to get into it. Yes.
We can talk about that too.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about it. Yes.
I really do believe that the old heads need to get together, because I feel like the old heads feel like, this is the way it is. Like, give me a break. That whole baby mama thing, like you said, came out in the 90s. It was even a movie about that. And so everybody thought it was cute. Everybody thought it was funny. Nobody thought it was going to stick. And it stuck to other kids, to our kids. Grandkids are saying baby mom. And I correct people all the time. I hate that. Oh, is that your baby daddy? No, that's the father of my kids. That's my ex-husband. You want to be technical about it, you know, because the assumption is you guys are single. Y'all had a baby. That's your baby father. Well, I was actually married to the man that I had children with. I wasn't just like a atypical single mom.
Wait a minute.
Being honest,
I got to give you a clap. See, this is the thing. This is the thing. This is the thing. Now, I got to say this right now. Some of you out there listening, I bet you any kind of money when the sister said that she was a single mother and she has 2 sons and a daughter, one in college, one is still in high school, and a beautiful daughter in college. I bet you some people ran to the stereotype and said, oh, typical black woman, single with kids, ain't never been married, another baby mama. No, she just bust your bubble. She said that she was married. I have had the same thing happen to me, sister, when I've tried to date. Wow. And women will, when I say, I've had sisters say to me, how many kids do you have? And I'll say, I have 1 child. Oh, so you have a baby mama? I said, no, I was married for 15 years. I had no children as a teenage young man because I grew up during the era when you had teenage pregnancy, right? So
yeah, me too.
Even black men, sister, we get stereotyped as being having a bunch of kids. And when I'll say, hey, I have 1 child, I'll have people take a double take and say, how many kids do you have? Because they're expecting that I'm a typical black man who's got kids all over town. No, I don't. No, I don't. Right. So this is what I'm saying about some of our culture. We spend a lot of time stereotyping each other, and we should stop that. Because not everybody who has kids, women or men, are people who did not get married and did not see the institution of marriage as important to us at one time. We've got Brother Lionsden on here who's just recently gotten married. And I know that.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah. Thank you, man. Let me give him a clap. Let me give him a clap, too. We know that marriage is not for everybody.
No, it's not. That's a blessing. Oh, let me bust you up one more time. When I got before I got married, wait for it. I was a virgin. I was a virgin at 20 years old. Oh yes, my parents raised me. See that the assumption with black women is negativity. They don't know anything about me. I went to private schools. My dad was in the military. Just because you see me twerking, the intelligence are there. I actually used my intelligence to come up with twerk out. I took 2 things and put together to make one. But see, the assumption is, oh, she's a black woman, she has kids, this, that, and the third. I was a virgin when I got with him. I chose to keep myself as a virgin because my mother taught me that. My mother said, keep your virginity to when you got married. I actually did that.
Okay. That's another notion out there in our community that when black women have multiple kids or have more than 1 child, that it may be by different men because that black woman has made poor choices. And I'm going to use this word. We're all adults here. That black woman has made poor choices riding the dick carousel, right? And here we have and I'm going to just be honest with you. There are black women that do this. There are women that do this. And some of the brothers on YouTube in the manosphere, they speak upon this and they don't like it. But guess what?
It's true though.
Locheadbosslady, and it is true, is not one of those type of women. So you can't put her in a box, okay? Like she said, she waited to get married before she lost her virginity. I myself, I didn't wait till I got married to lose my virginity, but I waited to get married to have a family, start a family and have a child. And had we still stuck together, I would have had more kids. I think the problem in my situation is that we had some communication problems. We met when we were very young. We probably should have never gotten married because the average brain does not develop until over age 25. So sometimes when you get married and your brain's not in full development, you make certain mistakes. But I learned from those mistakes. But the fact of the matter is, I got married before I decided to just start having children. That just wasn't my style. So as black people, as a culture, we have to stop stereotyping ourselves. We really do. And I think that's a problem on YouTube. Put a lot of people in a box. Anybody want to speak to that? Go right ahead.
Go ahead, brother. I've been talking.
I totally agree with everything both of you guys were saying about marriage, and I think the problem in this in the generation now is that they don't respect the marriage like they used to be. Like we have like our grandmothers, our grandfathers, our great grandmothers, our great grandfathers, how they love each other. We don't have that a conscience anymore. And so when we pick a mate now, we got to pick a mate if the person is ready. Because sometimes when a person gets married, let's say hypothetical at age 25, 26, they may be ready through physically, but they're not ready mentally. And that's the problem. They're not ready mentally because when you go through marriage, there's other things you have to think about. It's not just about an individual. You got to think about yourself and that other person too. So that's the thing with the society now. And I think when it comes to kids raising up, I think people should have to understand that we as adults, we as parents have to basically focus on our children more. And I mean, I applaud you, sister, for being who you are, because again, you have these stereotypes, like you said, when it comes to black women and the black men in this community. When back then we called women hoes, now they said, well, they call them thoughts. And basically, that's still derogatory, in my opinion. It's still derogatory to black women anywhere, woman anywhere. And so when you think about it, I think that society really needs to really focus on that. We cannot be just because it's not all black women are thoughts or hoes. Not all black women, not all black men are thugs and criminals. And that's what society, when they put that stereotype in the community, they gonna think, well, he's a thug or he's a criminal, she's a thot or she's a hoe, and none of them are really true.
Say that now. Tell the truth. Tell this.
Here we go. Here we go. Wait a minute. Here we go. Tell the truth.
Yes.
Let me ask a question. Because like I said, there's a manosphere on YouTube where brothers talk about issues around black women. There's a lot of black men that are very angry because they feel in some ways that some of our sisters are not giving us respect, that some of our sisters are stereotyping us and saying that all black men are this and that. And some of the brothers on YouTube are saying that that's not what I am. I'm a responsible man. What do you think is wrong with black male and female relations as it relates to YouTube or beyond YouTube? Because we seem to have this I don't like using this gender war term because that's a very and I'm going to say this, and brother RBR out there, where I got this tell the truth stuff from. He says that a lot of us on YouTube are using white talking points to define black people. We're using the narrative that the mayonnaise man usually comes up to define us, and that we got to stop doing this and start using more of a African or an Aborigine or whatever we want to define ourselves, not define ourselves by a mayonnaise ideology. What are your thoughts?
Well, I'm gonna say this about YouTube. That's very interesting. That's very deep to me. This is the thing. On YouTube, the rhetoric that we all see, that we all in the chat, all of us can say we see, all we see is people beefing and coming at each other in a negative way. Women tearing down women, men tearing down women, all of it. All of it. There is no unity or women empowerment. If there is women empowerment, you get knocked down for doing that. The only thing that's popular is if you're on your camera bashing another black person. That is the most popular thing in the world. How is that productive? We're on this platform, all of us are on YouTube, doing our niche, our passion, whatever it is. But the one thing that's popular, and YouTube also sanctions this because they haven't stopped it. So they obviously are, and plus the money is coming to them, so they're not going to stop it. All this beefing for dollars, as they say, or going on here, starting a war with this YouTuber for no reason at all. And I can say this from experience, just picking out somebody who has done nothing to anybody and starting a beef with that person. I think that is the most ignorant thing ever on YouTube. I get tired of seeing that. We all watch, it's all entertainment, I understand that. But I like what you said about that narrative. We're spinning the mayonnaise narrative. I'm sorry, I do like that, because do you think that they're not sitting back laughing at us? Look at them go back and forth with each other. We getting paid though. Look at them all beefing with each other, but we're getting our coins. The AdSense, we're getting our coins. They getting their coins too. We get more, so we'll let them keep on arguing. It's really disheartening to watch every day. Sometimes you don't want to be on here because there's so much negativity amongst YouTubers. There is no unity. I don't care what anybody says. I try to be the most positive person on YouTube. If you follow my channel, you see I try to push that narrative that not every black woman has an attitude. Not every black woman is negative. Not every black woman is negative to a black man. I'm trying to change that narrative. If you watch my channel, you see I try to push that a lot. I'm on women. My foot is on women's necks a lot, black women especially, because I feel like we are dropping the ball with our black men. And you can say what you want to say about YouTube. You may say you're not the same way on YouTube as you are offline, but why would you be two different people? Why? To me, you probably are yourself on the tube. You're saying that because it sounds good. Oh, it's not how I act. This is just the entertainment, clicks and views, blah, blah. No, this is probably who you actually are. On here being negative, spouting out rhetoric, spreading it to everybody. Everyone's following you, thinking it's cute, thinking it's attractive, intelligent. It's not. We are constantly dancing. And if y'all know what I mean by the dancing, the clown face. I feel like we're dancing on YouTube for everybody. The only thing different is, you don't have the face painted on, but it's still there. That's my opinion about YouTube. Black YouTube, let me say it like that. Because white to YouTube ain't getting crazy like us.
Well,
could I say something?
Go right ahead, Lions Den.
But here's the thing. I think the problem also is not just YouTube. I think the problem is that we trust people too much. And what I mean by that is that we trust other people, what they say, but not trust each other. We don't have a code. And that's the big issue on this. We don't have a code. Everybody else had codes but us. And see, the problem is that we don't need to start having a code, because if we don't have a code, then you have white YouTubers that, like for example, go on my channel will say negative thoughts about our culture. Well, they don't have a right to do that anyway, but that's what they do. But and yet some of us listen to what they say, and that's what divides the entire culture as a whole. Because if we listen to what other people say, they don't know what we're going through, what our culture's going through, then we don't have a community. We don't have a culture at all. So the point is that we definitely need to start having a code and listen to one another and have unity within ourselves, and stop allowing people to come and tell us what to do with our community or what to do with our culture, because they don't really know what to do with our culture, because they don't born and raised what we do. So at the end of the day, we have to just remember that we're family, we're all one, and we have to listen to each other off YouTube or offline, so that way we can come together, so we can know each other. Someone talk about us behind the scenes, then guess what? They say no, that's not happening, and we have to come and then we have to create a code and get us as one and focus on ourselves.
And then, let me say before Information Man says something, let me say something real quick. The one thing I don't like about Black YouTube, if you have a problem with another content creator that's bothering you and it's small enough that you can send an email or a message, why not do that instead of getting on your platform and going off and looking crazy and giving everybody entertainment? Something could have been simple as sending an email. I'm kind of over that too. You're making a whole entire hour live video about another content creator instead of hitting them up behind the scenes and say, look, brother, hey, sister, I don't like that, or I can't rock with you, or whatever situation is. Why does everybody have to know everything?
I'll give you what I think is going on, and I'll give you my honest opinion as to what's going on. This is the issue, Lions Den and Locheadbosslady. The reason why Black people are not on code in some fashions, because we don't know what a code is. We have lost the knowledge of self. We're become blind, deaf, and dumb. And as a result of us not knowing what a code is, we don't know how to act on code. What we do know how to act on is the code that the mayonnaise man has projected in this society. We know how to act on code based on what we see on reality TV shows. We know that how to act on code based on the music, and music is powerful because it's the only thing that can enter your self-conscious mind without your permission. So we know how to act on code because we've been culturally conditioned to engage and behave in a certain way. So when everybody is talking about, let's say, Cardi B, and our kids can whisper her music and we can do her dance or what have you, we have been conditioned to engage in someone else's code because there are frequencies that are getting into our subconscious mind. As I said before, television is a very dangerous thing for the young mind. There are alpha waves and there are beta waves. When you are watching television, it puts your brain into alpha wave stage, taking you away from beta waves. Beta waves are frequencies in your brain that stimulate knowledge, information, learning. Alpha waves pacify your mental state and will allow you to be preconditioned by what you're looking at. So that's why when you look at television, people will lay on the couch all day looking at TV and they will become pacified because TV affects your brain, it affects our young people. So when you talk about how can we be on a code when we haven't gotten ourselves away from television, the dummy box, and these sort of mass medias that are conditioning our mind. There you go. It's one.
YouTube. I'm sorry. YouTube is Jerry Springer-esque. I swear. I feel like that. You know, when you said reality shows, that's what YouTube is pretty much. It's like a reality show. That was perfect. That's how I feel when I watch YouTube. It's like fight. You know how they say Jerry. You know, and everybody just come. That's how I feel about YouTube. I do. It's like reality show, but just our version of that, I guess.
No. You're absolutely right. There's no doubt in my mind. So I want to find.
But where's the solution to that? Like I said, do you feel like, I'm just asking you a question in the chat as well. As far as YouTubers going against each other and putting it on social media or making a video about it or going live, do you think that maybe it should be addressed behind the scenes instead of, as they quote unquote, dragging another content creator or trying to humiliate another content creator? I want to know your guys' opinion on that.
Let me just say this. Let me go ahead and say for myself, I think that if I have a problem with someone, I would rather go behind the scenes and talk to them to try to see if we can quell the beef. And on my channel, I don't have any videos where I'm talking negative about anybody and having a one-to-one beef with anyone. That's not my style. I don't have time for it. You know why? Because I'm a grown 49-year-old man. I don't have time for that. And my life is not just YouTube. I have life out here in the real world as well. Lions Den, can you speak upon that too, brother? And after you speak upon that, maybe give a little love to folks in the chat room too as well, brother. Go right ahead.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this because I think the problem is that we as society love drama, and that's the problem, especially with YouTube. YouTube is like let's just say for women, it's like a daytime TV show. We don't know what's going to happen next. And that's what's happening on YouTube. We just love drama. We just love to say what's going on with her, what's going on with him. Oh, he's got this going on. She's got that going on. And the reality is that that's distracting what our main purpose is in the community, and that's unity. They're trying to break up the families. This is already happening on YouTube. When you have, for example, you have quote unquote interference, put it like that. Interference in our channels comes in and tell us what he said or what she said, and it's trying to start breaking up the entire community. That's what's happening. They dividing the entire community when you have trolls. And when trolls can't come into our channels, that's going to be a main issue. Oh, the trolls say this. Maybe is that true? Is it true? Here come all the YouTubers talking all that nonsense, all because what a troll says. You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
I'm telling you, when you have one troll that can say, "Oh, did say this, and then all of a sudden, oh, that might be true. I'm going to do a story on that. And it's all on YouTube. Like, well, no, that's not true. But that's what it is. We're allowing trolls to dictate what is happening instead of doing some real research on why this is happening. And that is the problem with YouTube.
Well, let me
research.
Let me say this.
I want to say what he said. What that brother said was right. Yeah. Research. Perfect.
Let me say this. Sister Lisa Carbero, and me and Lions didn't know her. She has a channel. She talks about a lot of different information. There were some who believed that maybe she was not black because you had a mayonnaise man do a video where he doctored up some pictures and tried to say that she was not black. And what happened is you had a lot of people on YouTube who decided to make some videos saying that she was a fraud or what have you, based off of a mayonnaise man putting out some information who he later, I think, if I'm not mistaken, retracted what he did. And so a lot of times, and this is my thing, I'm just going to keep running. Anytime a mayonnaise man says something, I'm going to always question whether what he says is true, because the mayonnaise man has had a history of not always being truthful. I think it was the Native Americans who said he speaks with a forked tongue. So you got to be very careful of what people are saying, because it may not be true. And one of the most important classes I took when I was in college was critical thinking, where you have to look at things from both sides of the angle. So you can't just take things at face value that someone run around and says. Now, let me go right ahead. And Lions Den, let's give a little love to people in the chat room. You can, read some things that they're going to say. And then after you do that, brother, I'm going to read right here what a real black code is. And if this is a solution, this is what we should do as a people to get on code. I'm going to read it. Go right ahead.
Okay. Info, can I say one thing before I read the comment section?
Go right ahead. Long as you tell the truth, brother.
Oh, got you. It's just like, for example, when it comes to the Jussie Smollett situation, right? When everybody said that he's a fraud, he's fake, because he staged his own attack and whatever. And I did some research on TMZ, saying differently that, the Nigerian brother that claimed that attacked the brother Jussie Smollett wasn't even true. All they did was he was basically Jussie Smollett paid the brothers to do a workout for him. That was it. Yeah. And so what they did, they used that lie. You're right. They used that lie to tell everybody, oh, he paid these Nigerians to attack him or fake the attack, which come to find out that he was doing that to help them, get muscles and get exercise and stuff like that. See how they put that lie out there, and people just buy it. Just because sometimes you have to need to take a step back and say, well, wait a minute, let me see what's really going on and do enough research to find out if that's really true or not. And that's the problem with us. We always jump in the gun over something that may or may not be true.
Well, in the case of Jesse, what I would call messy Jesse, the bottom line is the young man is in a lot of trouble. Lions Den. I'm not prepared to put my reputation on the line for a messy Jesse. He does have some history of some other improprieties with the police. I think the young man there's some things in his story that are not factual. Now, he wanted to tell us to tell the truth. He said, if I'm telling the truth, then it's the truth, right? If I'm telling the truth, it's a thing of like, hang on for a minute. Let me play something for y'all, because you got to be about truth, right? We got to be completely about truth.
There's
right?
too many holes. There's too many holes in that story. We're not, honestly, right. I kind of was like, I didn't want to touch that story myself either, because I said, as more people are talking about it, more stuff is coming out. So until the final creed, this is the end of it, whatever. I'm kind of touching it a little bit, because I feel like we don't know what's gonna come out. For all we know, the Empire people was involved, like behind the scenes, the big guys, the big Lee Daniels, who knows? They're all saying it's Jesse, but in reality, people
can see on YouTube.
Okay. Well, let's hear from Messy Jesse himself.
It was a thing of like, listen, if I tell the truth, then that's it, because it's the truth. Then it became a thing of like, oh, how can you doubt that? Like, how do you not believe that? It's the truth. And then it became a thing of like, oh, it's not necessarily that you don't believe that this is the truth. You don't even want to see the truth.
Well, he's in a lot of trouble, folks. He's in a lot of trouble. I think that if it is 100% true that he did what he did, they're saying that they're going to indict him. He lied to the grand. I think the grand jury has gotten involved in this. If he did what he did, we were talking about this last night with B Miles and brother Elder. He has actually contributed to the detriment of black people who have had real hate crimes brought against them. I mean, and then I know he's trying to represent the LGBTQT, but he has, if this is all true in the wash, he has actually contributed, I think, to making it difficult for those of us who definitely have suffered and have been victims of real hate crime. So I'll leave it at that. Lions Den, can you go ahead and give some love in the chat room? And if you want to read anything anybody's saying in there before I read these codes, go right ahead.
All right, I'm gonna get a shout out to GG, Bonafide 1970, J. Kirk Vivo, Marcus Love, Charles Gilmore III, The Fate Squad, Six Figure Days, Collie Girls World, B1 for Life, ADOS Gang Gang, Dick Toya Jenkins. And I'm gonna go ahead and read one of them. Dick Toya Jenkins says in the chat room that says, I try to stay out of drama, but soon as you leave a comment, you get stuck into the drama, which is really true, guys.
Oh, let me say hi to Face Squad, Victoria, Charles. Hey, people. I see my people coming through. How y'all doing? I'm sorry. Go right ahead, guys. I just wanted to say hi.
No. Get some love to your people. I'm glad that they're over here supporting the program today. We all appreciate it. So let me go right ahead. What was I about to do here? Let me go right ahead.
You gonna read the code? Read the code. You said you gonna read the code.
Yeah, read the code.
So here we go. Here we go, good black folks. The Black Code. We do not steal from one another. We do not kill one another. We do not sell or offer drugs to one another. We do combine our dollars but collectively as a group. So we combine our dollars collectively as a group. Okay. We protect our own women and children first. We educate our own at every chance. We do not fight with one another. That includes YouTube. Hello. Okay. Brothers protect and build up one another. So that means brothers as black men, let's not fight each other. Let's build one another up. And where we fall short, pick a brother up, give him proper criticism, but then build him up. Okay. Now, okay, sisters protect and build up one another. So we don't need sisters on YouTube and off of YouTube going at each other.
Say that now.
If you got a difference with your sister, call her up, email her, have some type of forum, and see if you can get to a resolution. If you can't, then leave them alone. Move on. Don't display this behavior on YouTube because all we become is entertainment for the mayonnaise man and those other groups that are watching us. Okay. Yeah. Now, brothers, protect and build up your sisters. So if you got black women that are on their square, that got themselves together, who are not embarrassing us as black men, then support sisters, support their channels, give them shine. And the sisters who are not in our best interest, you get a hell away from them as soon as possible. Okay.
Exactly.
Now, sisters, you should protect and build up. Let me see. Sisters, protect and build up brothers. So, sisters on YouTube and off of YouTube, if you see that there's brothers on YouTube that are doing powerful things, support them. Go to their channel. Support brothers in your community. Support brothers in your family. Support them. Rally around them. If there are sisters on YouTube and sisters out of YouTube talking shit about black men that are doing great things and putting us into this stereotypical block, you should challenge those black women,
man,
who are talking shit about black men on YouTube and off YouTube. Okay,
yes,
black men should do the same thing to protect and uphold black women on YouTube and off YouTube that are doing outstanding things. That's what we should be doing. Okay, let me move on with these codes. This is about solutions. It's not just about talking shit. It's about solutions here now. Okay, now we look for every opportunity to start our own businesses serving the needs of our people first.
Yes.
First. Now, let me tell you where this comes from.
Tell the truth.
See, this is the thing. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. Our ancestors and our people have left us a legacy. Guess where these codes come from? The Black Panther Party.
Yes.
I just recited the Black Panther Party code.
Wow.
So we don't need to reinvent anything. It was left for us before some of us were even born. If we would just utilize the 10-point plan of organizations like the Black Panther Party and many others, okay, or the principles of Kwanzaa, we could utilize those principles to get to a solution to where we want to be. I'll rest on that and let the sister Locheadbosslady say a few words with her fine self.
got me feeling good today. Okay, but look, I love that the 10-point. I almost forgot about that 10-point. The Black Panther. That is a beautiful thing. I love it. How it says we know we need to help each other accountable. I'm sorry, we need accountability within us. I like how it said, you know, black men checking on black women and vice versa. That is our problem. We don't do that enough. Instead of telling even on YouTube, like you were saying, telling another sister, like, look, I saw the video you made about that sister. I don't know where it came from, but you know, we are looking bad out here. Maybe you shouldn't say that, or however you want to say it. But people are afraid to do that. They're not going to go to another sister and say, that's not cool what you said. That's not, you know, telling the brother, hey, you know, we cool and we all trying to be united. What's going on? You talking mad no about that brother? We're not going to do that. We are not going to do that. We're either afraid to mess up some kind of business deal. Maybe we're going to be afraid of some YouTube friendship or whatever. We're trying to save face. But there is no accountability on YouTube or off of YouTube. We do not hold each other accountable. Like I can remember hearing my mother and, you know, your aunties, whatever, you would hear them talking on the phone, going off on each other. Like, don't do that. What are you doing? What you got on? Or whatever. These days, women are afraid. They're not going to say anything to each other. Like, you know, hey, I saw you talking noise to that brother. That's your man. I ain't trying to get you out business, but that brother didn't do anything wrong. You just did great. Or whatever it is, we are not going to do that. And we're afraid to step up. And I really feel like that whole 10-point that you had, I would love to have that written down and posted somewhere on my channel. Because I feel like that if we was to follow those, I'm sorry, my son's coming outside, I'm looking. If we was to follow those particular rules as far as YouTube, I do believe it will bring a lot more unity. It won't happen immediately, because nothing in change will happen immediately. It'll be some kind of backlash before it becomes positive. But I really feel like that holding each other for our, you know, being accountable for our actions would be a really big step. I just love that whole code. I want that on my wall. I gotta get down my wall today.
I will. Yeah, I'm gonna email you the actual what I have. Email it to you, but I'm sure you go online, you can find this information. But I'm gonna actually email you. And what I'm gonna do right now is I'm gonna put your channel in the chat again. I also have Locheadbosslady's channel in the description of this video. So everybody who's listening, who's not familiar with her channel, get your black butts over there and support her. because the sister is doing some great things on her channel. She talks about health. She talked about the little dancing that she does. And yesterday, sister, let me ask you something. You did a barbecue or a challenge about food, healthy living. Let folks know about your opinions about healthy living. And before we do that, I believe in having interaction with the chat room. Lions, then go ahead and give a little love to folks in the chat room as I start putting her channel in the chat room. And then we're going to let her talk about her healthy living perspective.
Yes. Like Peggy Royster, thank you for coming in. Evomai, Ruth M. Of course, Lori Alex is in the building. Gigi.
Hey.
Yes, Gigi and the real Aaron Collins, my boy, real Aaron Collins. I'll see, Naji Singh is in the building. Charles Gilmore III, Coley Girls World, Robin the Girl Wanders in the building. Marcus Love, the Faith Squad, of course, and Six Figure Days. Nama Buckner, and J Dog is also in the building. Info.
Okay, let me do this for Nana and Buckner. Nana and Buckner gave me a super chat, so let me go right ahead and give. Okay, everybody, let's get back on our square with this. So, Locheadbosslady, give us your perspective on a healthy living, some of the things that you do on your channel.
Yesterday I did a barbecue, and we all love barbecuing. And I was doing two things. I was doing two things with that. One thing, I'm on this whole week thing of doing women's empowerment. I've been on this whole thing since last week. And another thing is women can do whatever they want. So barbecuing is as simple as that sounds. A lot of women do not barbecue. And not saying that there are some who do, but there are women who hit me up and say, I don't know how you do it. I'm scared of the flame. I'm burning my food up or whatever. So whenever I go on live and I do a barbecue, I give out key lessons just so if anybody wants to, as a woman, want to know how to do it. And they'll hit me back and say, hey, I tried it. It worked. I'm going to do that or blah, blah, and ask questions live. Okay, the other part of it is this. You want to go barbecue, but first thing you think about it is they get the ribs, they get all the pork out or whatever. We don't do all that over here. Now, my boys, my kids, they eat regular. But for me, I want to try to put some healthy stuff on the barbecue. Anything got smoked hickory smell tasting in there, it's going to be good. I'm so serious. So I know how to make a turkey burger, whether it's a ground meat turkey burger or the frozen kind on the grill, and have it taste just as good as any burger. You go to any fast food or whatever. I just try to lighten it up because most times you think about healthy living, it's boring. You don't want to do it. You don't want to exercise. It's just not what no one wants to do. It's just really not physical or the food. So I try to spice up both. So every once in a while I do something different. Like today, yesterday was something different. I do barbecues a lot, but I haven't barbecued since like the summer. So I was like, let me do a quick healthy barbecue, how to make a burger, but not worrying about all the extra fat and the extra red meat and stuff like that. Because I try to do things to make it fun, like my twerk outs. Everyone likes to twerk. Okay, I'm an older lady, so I'm not the best twerker in the world. I just kind of combine the movements of the twerk and I put it together. People say I'm doing good, but it is what it is. But I put the twerking and workouts, so it's twerk outs. So I make it fun. Any kind of cardio, dancing, hopping around, is good for the heart, it's good for the body. So I literally do a 20-minute workout 3 days a week for a lot of mothers and women or anybody who don't have time. Most people say, I can't eat healthy. I don't have time to do it. I can't afford to do it. So I try to find affordable foods. I try to find, for me, you're working out with me for free. People have told me that it's actually working for them. So I'm going to keep pushing that narrative. I'm just trying to make it where it's easier for people who cannot afford a gym or don't have the time or the money or whatever, who wants to work out and live healthy. So I'm just pushing that narrative, but I want it to be fun, exciting, something different, not like everyone else's, healthy living YouTube channel or, their narrative. I'm doing Locheadbosslady, and I've gotten some negative feedback behind it from some people, and a lot of more positive. I'm gonna still keep pushing my narrative. I can give a crap what anybody said about what the hell I'm doing because it's me doing this. Locheadbosslady is the only way to live in this life. This is me. I'm proud of who I am from the top of my head, by my feet. I love my body, everything else. I know I'm a queen. So nobody can actually tell me anything to make me feel less than that. So I push that narrative too. Love yourself. Because you can go work out and eat healthy and do all kinds of stuff like that. But if you don't love yourself first and that foundation, then that will be for naught. You go right back to what you did before because you weren't ready mentally. You weren't loving yourself to say, I'm ready to take this health journey. Because it's a hard journey. And if you're not ready for it, all the bads and the goods that come with it, or I'm sorry, negative positives come with it, don't start it. I tell people all the time, if you're not ready, don't start the journey because the journey is going to take you through a whole lot of changes when you're trying to be healthy. People around you are going to try to stop you. People around you are going to look at you funny. Doing any kind of thing that's a change looks weird. I'm going to tell you something. At one point in time, I had gotten so small that as my community, Black people thought I was sick. So I thought to myself that Black people assume, well, no, the assumption is we can't be healthy. We can't work out. We can't do things to make ourselves live longer. That's not in our DNA. I'm being sarcastic because that's not true.
Yes.
But that is, I noticed I'm really have been a lot with coaches and being in this world, healthcare world, they do things that if you're 10 pounds, you know that your family going to say, are you hungry? Do you need to eat? Are you okay? Could it be diabetes? Maybe I want to drop a couple of pounds. My blood pressure is high. That's why we've always had this issue because food is our solution to everything. If a big event's going on, okay, big food, big barbecue, kitchen full, everybody's cooking. And it's always unhealthy foods. We equate everything with positivity, celebration, everything, parties, whatever we're doing, there's always food involved with us. And I just want to, I have no problem with that. I think that's a wonderful thing, but there's nothing wrong with going to a barbecue and there's some vegan food there. I can't eat that. There's nothing wrong going to a barbecue and there instead of some red meat. Oh, I can't eat that. Why? We need to get out of that. All these stereotypical things we've done for years, it's not working, obviously, because we're still.
Is she still there? Oh, okay. I think her screen froze, so hopefully Lions Den she will return to us.
Okay.
Let me see. Locheadbosslady, are you there? If necessary, I'll send her another link. I think she kind of froze.
Okay.
So I agree with what she was saying. I think I was listening to Pharaoh Says That, and he talks about literally we can be killing our family members through what we put on the plate during the holidays, that we can literally be killing them because we're over consuming food that is not in our best interest, over consuming fats, over consuming grease, oil. I don't know how many people know that you should not cook your food in vegetable oil. Extra virgin oil is the best way to go if you're going to cook in oils all together. You should really stay away from them. Let me go ahead and send her another link because I think she's been frozen out. So let me see. Boss Head Lady, are you there? Let me send her another link, everybody. Lions, did you have anything you want to say while I go ahead and send her another link and see if she can come back in on another link?
Yeah, dealing with the food, I basically thinking that we always, for myself, I'm a good, I'm a good taste in when it comes to teas. Like I'm a tea guy because I like green tea. I like to drink chamomile tea and elderberry tea, and I go by I also go by the food list from Dr. Sebi, the late Dr. Sebi. I go by that list because those are the foods that Dr. Sebi explains about when it comes to healing, people who has diabetes, cancers, etc. And the foods that Dr. Sebi had in this list, they don't want it to come out. So I think what people need to understand is that we
Okay, I'm back, y'all. Sorry.
Okay, I'm glad you're back. But
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
I was referring to is, because I think Information Man is trying to get you back, but I'm glad you're back. But I was telling the audiences that I go by Dr. CB, or Dr. CB diet, which is like teas like elderberry tea, teas like green tea, elderberry tea. Let's see, I forgot other teas, but I also go by healthy. I always eat fruits and vegetables, and I'm a veggie guy as well. So I also do exercise like qigong, tai chi, yoga, everything else to keep me healthy. And because the thing is, at my age of 43, you never know what will happen, because the people were dying. People were dying through cancers and diabetes and all that type of autoimmune diseases. So it's very important for people. We need to eat healthy, we need to eat right, and we need to exercise constantly so we can prevent stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, my dad died of a heart attack at 55, and it was unexpected. He didn't look like he was having any kind of health problems or anything. And the biggest misconception that I have said about hold on, I'm sorry. No, ma'am. The misconception that I have, sorry, my family's walking out, about a black man, and I want to say this, I was listening, that if you have a really big stomach and you're small everywhere else, and your stomach is going up to your area, understand you may be in danger of a heart attack. And that's something that I have to look up after my dad passed. You've seen a lot of men, black and white, but mostly black. You'll see their stomach. They're small everywhere, but you see their stomach rising up to their chest, getting like a little hole. A little heel, only going to their chest area. That's a very dangerous situation, because that means your heart attack at some point in time in the future. And they don't get it. That's bad. They walk at work. My dad used to say all the time, I walk at work. It's my exercise. No, it's not. You got to take some time that you do something physical, some kind of exercise. I'm sorry. My daughter's coming to the car. Y'all give me just a second.
Okay. It's okay. Let me just say this to everybody out there that's listening. Locheadbosslady is right. They just came out with a study, Lion's Den, and I was going to do, I'm probably going to still do a show about this. There's a new study that just came out that you can relate how many push-ups as a man, depending on how many push-ups you can do, it can depend on how much of a risk you are at heart disease. Meaning, if you can't do 40 push-ups, if you can't do more than, let's say, more than 10 push-ups, and you can't, over a period of time, get yourself past 40 or some of the, in that area, you can't lift yourself up and down, you are at risk for heart disease. They said there is a correlation. Okay, this is... brother, I am the information man.
Information is power.
Okay. If you cannot do enough push-ups as a man, and you're not exercising and getting out there in the gym or somewhere and doing something, your risk for heart disease is at a very high level. If your waist, if your belly, and I'm just keeping it real, I'm not being disrespectful to anybody out there. If your belly as a man is very pronounced over your waistline of your belt, you need to work on that area of your body, because that also puts you at risk for heart disease. Now, I'm talking about men's health here, particularly. Okay, don't kill the messenger here. I'm just giving you some information that has come out recently. They've done a study. They've done a study where they had a trial. They've been studying a trial run of men over a number of years. 10 to 20 years, they had a control group, they had a study group, and they watched how both groups were impacted because of their lack of exercise. Now, that's the damn truth. That's the truth. I don't know.
It is. That is the truth. And I'm telling you right now, this whole mentality that we're not supposed to exercise and work out, that needs to be let go. We need to let that go. We need to work out to be healthy, to live longer for our grandchildren, et cetera, et cetera. And if we start with us and next generation, maybe our generation will live longer, opposed to we got to have gravy smeared on everything. No, we do not. We don't have to have gravy smeared on everything that we make. I'm just saying, look, there's good food out there. I understand there's good taste and all that kind of stuff, but you can find substitutions. You can figure it out. The excuse is I can't afford to eat healthy is not an excuse. I just went shopping, did a whole live, and showed the grocery store different things you can buy that is considered to be healthy and things that are considered not healthy. I do understand that most retail stores promote and usually have on sale non-healthy items. And that's just being honest. I'm in the world, I'm a manager there, so I know that to be true. But you still have to work around that. Unfortunately, there's farmers markets. There's things you can do if you want to choose to eat lighter. Maybe I'll say maybe not healthier, but lighter than what you normally do. And I even say this too. If every once in a while you want to go bad and eat some smothered gravy or whatever, I say you go right ahead. I'm not going to tell you not to enjoy yourself when you eat, but just look at your health, your overall health. If you can't walk up down to stressing out, it's time for something to happen. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, let me make these statements to everybody from what I have here. And I see we got Prophet of Thought series in the chat room. Thank you, brother. We're going to have to get Locheadbosslady on your show, as he's a dynamic brother on YouTube. He's my brother in arms. I love Prophet of Thought series. God damn it, go over there and support his channel. Now he does a show Wednesday night and Thursday night. It is sort of male driven because he brings brothers over, but he also has had women on his show. And like myself, he also interviewed Melissa McKinney, who is the mother of Danye Jones, who was killed by those despicable cops down there in the Ferguson area of Missouri. And I had her on my show. And he also has interviewed her, and her son needs justice. But go ahead and support brother Prophet of Thought series. And I'm also going to do a commercial for the brothers of the Black Brain Trust. Those brothers of the Black Brain Trust were on my show a week ago. Get your black behinds and support the brothers of Black Brain Trust. They talk about science. They talk about technology, computer technology, space.
Oh, I love it.
They talk about the 5Gs. I have a video on 5G technology, which I think is going to be dangerous for us. Those brothers talk about everything, education. There's a brother on there who has who talks about computer, quantum physics, quantum computing. They get into it all. So I'm supporting the Black Brain Trust. Get your black behinds over there. Now, to all my melanated black people, we should be eating a diet that is rich in foods that can empower our melanin. Foods like carrots, tomatoes, melons, egg yolks, fish, berries, and apricot seeds are very good for empowering our melanin. Not to mention that apricot seeds contain B17, which they won't sell on the counter from the pharmaceutical companies because B17 has been found as an antioxidant to fight off cancers. You should also eat animals. If you're going to eat meat, if you're going to eat animal meat, you should eat animals or a plant-based diet that contains vitamin A, because vitamin A will empower your melanin. Okay. Now, when I did an interview with the Minister of Health, he said something very profound to me. He says that eating fried foods is very dangerous for black people because fried foods, they've done a study on this, have been correlated and related to violence. That because you have the omega-6 and the omega-3s, it puts your brain in an imbalance and it creates anger and frustration. And they've done this in the prison system where they've given inmates a diet that was high in plant-based, and then some inmates a diet that's high in fried foods. And the inmates that were eating high in fried food diets were the most violent in the prison versus those who ate a plant-based diet. Wow. The omega-3s and the omega-6 oils causes there's a disbalance when you're eating a lot of fried foods. So watch yourself before you wreck yourself, because we must tell the truth. So with that said, it is crazy, but do your research, folks. And also eat, I think there's a lot of foods that are rich that empower our melanin. So definitely check those things out. Do your research on your own. Oh, also I have a video coming that talks about that I did, or I haven't released it yet. I'm going to probably release it, about the new trend right now is tailoring your diet to your blood, what kind of blood type that you have. So our blood type is directly linked to the kind of foods that we should be eating and we should not be eating. So if you know your blood type, do some research and find out what type of foods that you're eating could be causing a lot of your health problems that you're complaining about. If you got a bad back, you got a stomach problem, it could be related to your blood type not being a good fit for what you're putting in your mouth. So, sister, let's get into another issue. Once again, we have the ADOS issue that you know that's out there. What are your? We talked a little bit last week, but do you have any additional points you want to bring up about the whole ADS movement? And I want to make a correction. I thought that it meant African descendants of slaves. The actual definition is really American descendants of slaves. That's the real meaning of ADOS. And let me read something to you from last night when I did a show. Let me see if I can. Oh, let me find this. Let me say this. Some folks that are in the chat room probably heard me say this last night, but I'm gonna read this again. This is the breakdown of the ADOS. ADOS was started by the Brain Trust of Howard graduates and host of the Breaking Brown, and you know her by Yvette Carlette, and the UCLA alumni and attorney Antonio Moore, who we know as Tone Talks. ADOS, which stands for American Descendants of Slavery, seek to reclaim and restore the critical national character of the African American identity and experience, one grounded in our group's unique lineage, and which is the central to our continuing struggle for social and economic justice in the United States. This goes from the 1600s to the 1700s to the 1800s to the 1900s as it relates to Black people going through slavery, Jim Crow, Reconstruction, redlining, having land stolen from us, not getting the 40 acres and a mule, Black men who were treated poorly, Black women that were treated poorly in this society, separate but not equal education, separate but not equal living situations, separate but not equal circumstances. So that's the issue around ADOS. So, Sister Lochead, what are your thoughts?
Honestly, it's different now that you kind of changed it to American. For some reason, I look at it a little bit differently because I look at it like this.
Okay.
I don't want to say that we are, maybe I can't say that we're owed something. If you think about Americans who were brought here, of course, not us, but descendants, we weren't asked to brought here. We were brought here without permission. So if you think about all the generations of things that could have been different for us, even our next generation, and so on and so on, something should be done about that. Whether it's going to happen, I don't think it will, honestly, but I can see why people are pushing that narrative, because who knows how our life would have been if they hadn't brought us over here. And for the fact that they did bring us over here, it changed everything about our people. So should there be reparations for that? Yes, because they decided and chose our narrative. We didn't have a choice in that. We were kings at one point in time. So there's no telling where us sitting here, where we would be at right now if we weren't brought over here. Now we're here, and I understand we're American now, blah, blah. A lot of people say, forget it's the past. But you really cannot go to your future unless you are resolved in the past. So that's a part of our past, and I feel like that they may have a point on that we are owed something. Because I feel like our whole narrative was based on what they did. We didn't have, if we chose this narrative, if we did this, I probably would look at this differently, but we didn't have a choice. We was forced to come here.
Mm-hmm. Let me ask your opinion. I've already made it publicly noted and documented what would be my solution, because we're solution based here. What would be my solution for how we can go about giving reparations out? do you have any, and I'll go to Lions Den after you, sister. Do you have any solutions for how we could get reparations? What form would they come in?
I think you had discussed it with me before, and I said that I was on your train, like with the credit. Well, I think we said college, going to college for free. I'm big on that. Maybe even give somebody a fresh credit score or stuff like that. What you were saying, people are looking for a check, and I know a check would be nice, but thinking about the long haul, which you may think about that when you said college for free. Man, that's the tools for at least a lot of college not to pay for it. That would give some of these kids tools to get started in the world. So just stuff like that, I'm for that. Like, I can't remember everything you said, but I do remember you saying free college, maybe even, like I said, a fresh start on your credit report. How many people you have bad credit can't do anything? Maybe a fresh start with that. Just things of that nature where it will help us financially. We still can build our own, make our own money. So that's why I'm kind of like debating about giving somebody just a free check to just do whatever. I think the stuff that you were saying, I like where you're going with that. I think that would be the tools that we need.
In my opinion, sister, the only people who deserve a fat check would be our grandfathers and great grandfathers who lived through the civil rights movement. So if we can identify Black people that are still living who lived through that time in our family, and we can, nobody can say that, oh, you can't find them. Yes, we can. They're the ones
yes, you
that deserve a fat check. If you got a family member that had a farm, who's a farmer like the Black farmers, they deserve a fat check. Now, for the rest of us Negroes who did not grow up in the civil rights movement or weren't slaves, my proposal is, I'm going to keep repeating it. I don't care how many times people get tired of me saying this. My proposal is very simple. You give this American descendants of slavery, of slaves, a very simple bonus. Okay. We should not have to pay income tax or taxes, which means when I get paid, I get the gross of my check. Okay. And so when I come home, I don't have to worry about the government taking all this money out of my check. So guess what Black people could do with that extra money? We could buy a lot of money for homes, for education. We could go out and we will definitely help the economy because, you know, Black folks are the biggest consumer base in this country. That's a fact.
Yes.
In the trillions, right?
It is.
So we can take that extra money to pay off bills, to buy homes, and to build and save money. Okay. 2, if we didn't have to pay taxes every year, but let's say the government had to give us some money back still, once again, we're going to benefit. Let's say if I want to buy a home and home ownership is made easier for me, guess what? How do you build wealth too? You build it through home ownership in this country, right?
Yes.
So let's say, for example, Black people would be exempt from paying property tax. So if you got a business or a home, you don't pay no property tax. You don't pay no state tax. See, I'm forward thinking in this shit. Okay, I'm not new.
You know what? I'm
new to this shit.
I'm gonna play devil advocate real quick. All this stuff is wonderful that you're saying, and I agree 100%. I agree 100%. But let me just say this: there's gonna be like people going to not do what you're. What I mean by that, they'll have all of these advantages. It's not. Some people won't do that. They'll just spin it all up or mess everything up and not. No. You know I'm not lying about that. I'm not saying that people are not gonna take advantage of it and say, hey, look, make sure we got this house, let's do this, whatever. People will be doing that, but there'll be a majority of people that are like same mentality, same porch. I'm not gonna do anything. I'm just gonna stay in the same. They're not gonna take advantage of it. They're gonna do something to mess it up.
I can tell you why it won't be messed up. The only people who would probably blow their checks, who have the ability to blow some money, would be your elder generation that would get a fat check. The ones that came through the civil rights movement and through the time of Jim Crow. Right now, I bet you any kind of money, the older generation that gets that money, they won't be the ones that mess it up. It'll be their nephews, their grandkids that'll mess it up because they'll be giving them some goddamn money and they'll go blow it. But I'm gonna tell you why the institutionalized reparations won't be messed up. You know why? Because if I say to you, all our kids go to college for free, what's the requirement? They have to get their grades together. They have to have their shit in order. Now, if your child don't have their grades together and they don't have their shit in order, guess what? They ain't getting no free education. So it's a part. So we're going to give you free education if you do your part. Now, when it comes to tax exemption, right? Black people who are responsible are going to do responsible things with that. Black people who are not responsible, they're going to spend the money. Guess what? It will stimulate the economy. And those black people that spend their money foolishly, hey, guess what? Don't white people spend their money foolishly too? Asian people spend their money foolishly. Yeah, other groups spend their money foolishly. Ain't nobody worried about how Native Americans are spending their damn money when they get reparations. Nobody's telling Jewish people about how to spend their money, and ain't nobody telling let's see, other people like Japanese who got a reparation how to spend their money. That's their goddamn business. I don't care. Black people that's going to spend their money responsibly, they'll do it. And those that have never been responsible will be irresponsible. That does not negate the fact that we deserve reparations. See, you'll always have mealy-mouthed Negroes, I'm not talking about you, boss lady, who will come up with excuses and say, well, if you give black people money, they're going to all spend it badly. Not all black people. See, that's stereotyping again. And guess what? That's using a mayonnaise man narrative. That's using white people's narrative to say that black people don't have enough goddamn sense to be able to manage our money. There are black people who know how to manage their money. I can manage my money. You can manage your money. Lions Den can manage his money. Other people in the chat room can manage their money. Not all black people. So let's stop using white people's talking points to judge it. Okay? Now, that's just another excuse to say why we can't get reparations, in my opinion. Another thing, we should get, if you are a business, this is why it can't be messed up. If you, boss lady, are a businesswoman and you want to open up a business, right? Let's say you go to the bank. Institutionally, they cannot redline you. If you got all your shit in order, you got your business plan in order, you should be able to get a loan. So therefore, black people that go into business that got this shit together, they're least likely to blow the goddamn deal. We're not talking about just letting anybody go to a bank and get a loan for a business who ain't got their shit. Right? They got gravy stains on their paperwork and shit. No.
Oh my God.
We're talking about.
I got a coffee circle on the paper.
We're talking about black folks who, to a certain degree, have their shit together. Right? Now, if you ain't got your shit together and you out there bullshitting around in the streets, you're not going to be eligible for some of these benefits because you got to have your shit in order, right? So, for example, if you're a black person and you ain't got a job and you ain't working and you ain't showing proof of your employment, then you can't benefit from the tax benefit. Okay, you can't benefit. And if I'm not mistaken, you just can't benefit from that. So that's what I'm saying about how it can work. Now, are there going to be black people who are going to blow their tax money? Well, yeah, you got black folks already now that blow their tax money, right? That's true.
Oh, for sure.
But it does not change the fact. If Pookie and Ray Ray or Johnny and Tyrone or Jerome wants to go out and buy himself a Mercedes Benz, and he blows his money every year on taxes, that's his business, not my business. My business is to make sure that I do what's right for my family. That's the bottom line. Let's get out of these damn excuses for why black folks should not have reparations.
To me, I'm just gonna speak for myself. I'm not really making excuses. I just look at everything as realistically. I really do. When I do anything, I look at like, okay, I look at it as positive, but I also look at the reality of some things. And I would like for people to invest more. I'm not saying that we don't, I know that we do. But even when I bring it to people, just blue collar workers, like, I'm not investing any of my money. It's like you're just taking a little bit of money out of your check at a time, but you don't realize this is an actual investment. I just say invest. So I say you can't do anything else. Take some of that money and please, before you blow it, invest some of it, please. Even for the taxes that's coming out now, because people are getting a bigger tax break for earning credit this year. This is a side note. I'm sorry. Earning credit this year. So please some money, or at least save it or something. Don't spend all that big old change in 1 month, and then you look up, you got a new car and rent ain't paid. I'm just saying, let's do it. That's all I'm saying.
Well, let me just say this. Let me say this, sister, and I'm going to get Lions Den opinion on this. Most Black people who want to go into business, they have some sense of business, so they're going to benefit from this plan that I'm proposing. One of the reasons why a lot of Black people don't go into business is because a lot of us are not educated on business. So, for example, if we could, for example, we're working with our youth in some of the programs that I've been involved in, we try to get our youth to think about business. So we may not be able to wake up the minds of old heads, old Negroes who just stuck in the past, but we can certainly start to train and encourage and put that notion, those of us who are willing, to our young people, young men and young ladies, where we can get them in an ideology of having ownership in business. So I am a person, my solution is that to change the Black community, to transform it, it must be transformed through the young, not the old, because they are our future. And if we get to their minds and transform them to think about business and not just being consumers, we can change the narrative for the future. See, this is what our problems are. And this is the same problem that we get from our preachers. A lot of us want to live to see the glory. And a lot of us don't want to sacrifice ourselves to see the glory for our future and for our children. So a lot of us want to say, I want to be alive to see the building being built. So when you look at Howard University, Morehouse, and all these institutions, Black institutions, the founders of these institutions, those that were founded by Black people, of course, a lot of them are not alive today to see what Morehouse has turned into, or Spelman, or any business. A lot of them are dead. If they were alive today to see it, they would be like, oh my God. A lot of them start Black schools in small little rooming houses. So we have to realize, as Black people right now, this is my metaphor, we're in a rooming house right now. And some of us, like myself, I may not be alive to see this rooming house become this conglomerate. The rooming house is our children who we work with in the community, putting the seeds in their head. And then when I die, those children may grow up and be the next business people, be the next entrepreneurs, be the next conglomerates. And what will happen is I won't be alive to see it, but somebody's going to see this future. My daughter will live to see a future that's much better than ours today. So Black people, we have to get into an ideology of I'm sacrificing for tomorrow. Our ancestors that were slaves, some of them that were slaves, they are not alive to see how we're living today.
Right. Wow. Powerful.
Lions Den.
I love that. Go ahead, Lions Den. I love that information.
Lions Den. Give a little love to folks in it. Thank you. Give a little love to folks in the chat room and say your piece on this issue.
I'd like to give a shout out to Kenneth Nash, Gap Talk Media, Marcus Love, GG, Notch _Sing, Collie Girls World, Jess BU, Peggy Royster, J Babies, Lori Alex, POS Gang Gang, DJ Moss, Phil Mozzie.
Can't hear him.
Straight up.
Okay, go ahead, brother.
Let's see. The Educated, Dame Frankie. Going all the way up. Eva Lumai, Tony Smith. So far that's it. Okay, brother. And shout out to Educated Smoker, Gab Talk Media.
Yes.
Gab is my brother.
Nash. Hey, Nash.
Marcus Love, he's the brother that's always over there at O'Shea, Duke Jackson. And I will be on the Rumble show today, folks. So check us out over there on the Rumble later on this afternoon. Got a lot of good people in the chat room. Let me see. We got Full Circle, my brother, Full Circle. I love you, Full Circle. He just super chatted me. So let me give him some love. And so I want to think is power. So I want to let everybody know Lions Den's my brother. We've been together for a long time. So go ahead, Lions Den, and get into this issue. Give us a piece of your mind.
You know, the ADOS, which is American Descendants of Slavery, and I know I'm part of it. I'm letting you know that I'm part of it. I even hashtag it on all my social media. Basically, you have now politicians want to be a part of it, saying they want to get $100 billion worth. In my opinion, that's ain't worth the crap. It should have been $200 trillion. What we've been through as our ancestors been through. But I believe that this is a great thing for African Americans here in this country because we always need to have a voice of what we're planning on doing. As far as what you said, Info, about free colleges, I also agree with you on that. We need free 4-year colleges. Basically, we also need it when it comes to income tax, no taxes at all for us, no taxes. Like I said, I agree with you. We want gross pay. And free healthcare. All of this.
Oh yeah,
free healthcare.
Yeah, I forgot about that one. Yeah, yes. Right. We should all get free healthcare. You know what? That's another part. You know what? I'm gonna do a video. You know what, Lions Den? We're gonna do a pre-produced video, and I'm gonna do the green screen technology and all that good stuff on that video. And we're gonna specifically focus on the solutions of what brother. You just gave me another.
That's a gem. A gem. Yeah,
you dropped some gems over there. You just dropped a gem, brother, because you just told the truth.
Tell the truth.
You dropped the gem. Free healthcare. You got damn right. You're damn right. Go on. Continue on, Lions Den. Continue on.
Yeah, like I said, basically, these are the things. These are the issues that we want politicians, if they were serious, that we want politicians to focus on if they want us to have reparations, because these are the things that we needed right now. That when it comes to free healthcare, when it comes to basically, like I said, free colleges, basically also we have to focus on the important things that what can we do in the community, like how can we stop crime in the community, how we can stop basically police violence in our own people. All this stuff, are they really serious about it? Let's focus on that. The reparations is fine, but we also need to focus on what can y'all do. If y'all want our vote, then tell us what we need to hear to deserve our vote. We can't just say we vote for Bernie Sanders or voting for Elizabeth Warren or voting for any other politician that say, oh, we'll give Black people reparations, but not explaining how much reparations that we wanted and what can we do. They included the bills that we know that needs to be done as the ADOS. So at the end of the day, guys, we have to focus on that and push these politicians and say, if you're really serious about giving us reparations, then explain to the people how. Like the money you're going to give us. And I know one politician said they want $100 billion of reparations. And to me, in my opinion, guys, that is totally not enough.
Not enough.
It's definitely not enough. We want $200 trillion of our ancestors if they're really serious about giving us reparations. And that's all I have to say about that.
Well, let me just, it is perfect, brother. Let me just say from the elder, some peace, blessings, and love to you. Because you're making great sense here, brother. So let me give you some. That's from the elder himself, who I had on last night. Let me stop for a small commercial. Everybody out there in Spreaker, thank you for listening. Everybody out there in YouTube, thank you for listening. But you need to listen to this particular update right now, because this is what you need to do. You need to get your butts over to Locheadbosslady's channel, and here we go.
Everybody, please listen to me. This is Information Man. Go ahead and support Locheadbosslady. Go over there and support her channel. Give her love, follow her. She's a dynamic sister. She's speaking truth to power. And go ahead and support Locheadbosslady. That's right.
I love it.
So as I said, get your butts over there. I'm putting her channel in the chat room once again. Get over there and support her.
Information Man show line. I have to get off of here, guys.
I know you do.
my vacation is over.
I hear
I'm
you.
on vacation all week, but
right.
it's over. I gotta prepare for work. But I did want to say that I have enjoyed being on this panel with you brothers. It's very and it's just a breath of fresh air compared to the rhetoric I have been seeing on YouTube and even been involved with somewhat the past week or so. So this is a breath of fresh air. I shared this to everybody because I was like, I want to be on something positive today. This is how I want to start my Sunday off. Whether we agree or disagree, it's a beautiful thing what you got going on over here, Information Man. I appreciate you interviewing me, and I really enjoyed it. In the second part too.
Thank
you. So I'm just happy.
I'm happy to have you here, sister. Thank you for being here with us. What I'm going to do to say to everybody in the chat room, go ahead and share this video in your individual social media, please, so that we can get this message out to more and more people and support the movement and what we're doing here. I thank you. I'm a humble brother. I thank everybody that's in the chat room that's been supporting the program. And I do not, I'm not an arrogant brother who does not see that there's people that are coming over here, taking the time out of their time in their life to watch and hear what we're talking about. So thank you. Lions Den, do you have any last words, brother, before we put a crescendo on the program?
Yes, sir. I would also like to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in today. And you guys can check on my channel. It's Lions Den #ADOS. I just added ADOS because I know there's a lot of Lions Dens on the YouTube channel.
Yes, there is.
Basically, now y'all can go ahead and find me directly. Now it's called Lions Den #ADOS. And Information Man, you and I have been together for 10 years, brother.
Oh, 10 years. Okay.
10 years, brother.
Yeah.
Wow.
But we still strong. We're still gonna go on. And I'm about to let everybody else know also that we as Black people need to stay on code and not let the naysayers get into our business. We need to focus on our own business and prove to everybody that we are the true kings and queens. And that's all I have to say.
Yes.
This is what
I'm sorry. Anybody out there that wants me to support them, y'all just hit me up. That's how I don't mind. I love expanding and growing with everybody else. And there's a couple brothers you mentioned you wanted me to check out. So if it's in the chat, I would love to come on their panels too and stuff like that. I know there's a few brothers you had said earlier, so I was just speaking on that.
Okay. Lions, and this is what I'm going to do, brother. I'm going to put the description of your channel in this video once I have a chance. So you'll be in the description with your channel of this video. Everybody out there that's been with us, thank you. I'm about to end the program with our ending music and all that other delightful stuff. I appreciate the Locheadbosslady for being here. I appreciate Lions Den for being here. I appreciate all of you out there for listening. This has been quite a treat, and I love it. This is what it's about: positive energy on the day, and that's what it has to always be about. So thank you, everybody out there.
Yes, love you guys. Y'all have a great and happy Sunday.
All right, love you guys.
Thank you, sister.
Wait a minute, info. It's the info man and the Lions Den. 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 It's the info man, yup, it's the Lions Den. Yup, you can't fuck with us, no, so stop trying then. Still, it's the info man, yup, it's the Lions Den. So stop trying then. Still, when it's time to do, we still do things bullshit like how it's learning fluid. Tell the truth in the life, then. Wait a minute. You already listening. The info man and the Lions Den. Raise your ass up. I just listen. Raise your ass about those numbers. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Diane all them 14. Raise your ass about those numbers. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Diane all them 14. Raise your ass about those numbers. This ain't no dream. You can't fuck with Diane all them 14.
Tell the truth. Tell the truth. Tell the truth.
It's the info man and the lion's den. It's the info man and the lion's den. It's the info man and the lion's den. It's the info man and the lion's den.
Everybody out there, once again, thank you for supporting the channel. I really appreciate everybody that's being here. The day is early, so I know you all are going to be checking out all the different streams that are happening on YouTube today, and also enjoying your Sunday and doing your personal things with your family. I want to go ahead and let you know that I will be on the O'Shea Duke Jackson program, the Rumble, this Sunday. I will be a part of that, hopefully. And I also want to let you know that I'm going to be bringing something very exciting to the table. I'm going to put together a black commission of black men on a 10-panel situation where I'm going to bring some of the most dynamic black men together and sisters. I may have a rotation where I can bring some dynamic sisters on board, like Nicole Ali, who's a scientist. We got Brother Super Trez. We got Brother Art, myself. Brother Tony, who's out there. I got an idea for something dynamic. We got Brother Locheadbosslady. I want some brothers who bring some philosophical information and analysis to the table. We're not going to have a panel where we're arguing and we're talking in circles. I want to put together a panel, a black commission, where we can get to solutions and answers to questions and figure out ways to solve our problems that you can take back to your individual communities and change and transform our people. That's what I'm going to be doing. So look out for this commission. Brother Gab will be a part of that commission. Brother Gab Talk Media will be a part of it so far. He's on the slot. He's one of my brothers that will be on this platform. And what we want to do is bring this together either every week or every other week. Brothers who come at things from a philosophical way. I got this inspiration from listening to the brothers that they are my brothers, the Black Brain Trust. Get your black behinds over there and check out the Black Brain Trust. I did a video about them. They talk about every subject. We're not going to just get on this commission that I'm going to put together and talk about the same old stuff between what's wrong with black women and black men. We're going to talk about science. We're going to talk about computers. We're going to talk about space. We're going to talk about dark matter. We're going to talk about melanin. We're going to talk about education. We're going to talk about business, how you start a business, how you invest, how we can benefit. We're going to talk about black male accountability to the family, black male, importance of black males raising our family and our children. Because a lot of us that are going to be on a panel like ourselves have either been married before or are married. Prophet of Thought series, I'll have him as a regular rotation in from time to time. I'm going to try to get Brother BGS to come on over from time to time and spread some wisdom from time to time. Brother AM1, I'll get him on from time to time. I'm going to bring in some sisters like Nicole's View. Nicole's View, I'm supposed to be interviewing her. I got to get back in contact with her. I want to bring her on. I don't want it to be a panel where we're just sitting up there talking, no solutions, everybody arguing, everybody talking over one another. It's going to be a controlled panel where each person will speak to the subject and have a chance to speak uninterrupted without someone over talking them. It's not going to be a panel where somebody has to come on there and try to say why this can't work and that can't work. We always got mealy-mouthed Negroes telling you why nothing can't work, but yet they're not doing anything themselves. They have no goddamn solutions. This will be a solution-based panel. It will be the Black Commission. And you come over, you're going to get solutions. That's what it's going to be. And that's how we got to do it.
Tell the truth.
So thank you. There will be a lot of exciting things coming on the horizon. Also, as a reminder, I will be dropping regular pre-produced videos every Tuesday evening, 8:30 Western time, 9 o'clock, 9:30 Central time, 10 o'clock Central time, 10:30 Central time, and 11:30 or 11 o'clock Eastern time every week. And you can look for my pre-produced videos every Tuesday, as well as going into the weekend. I will be producing more pre-produced videos for the premiere. Then I will actually do panels. I will continue to interview people and do panels like what I was talking about the Black Commission panel that I want to put together. Oh, in my Black to Black AM series, I will be adding that in the slot. I have some interesting stuff that I'll be doing about that, about cell phones, the danger and mind control of the cell phone that we are using right now. So I'll still pop that in every now and then. And I think you will enjoy some of the stuff that I have coming down the pipeline for your viewing enjoyment and your information and knowledge. So thank you again for being here, and everybody out there in Spreaker that's been listening to me in the podcasting world. Thank you as well. This is Information Man. I'll see you around YouTube. Thank you for your support. And those that have super chatted me, you're the best. I'm going to keep trying to grow this channel and keep growing and learning and development. And I welcome anyone who wants to email me and want to give ideas for show topics. And those of you in the chat room who may want to come on and come on a panel, I would like to get some of you in the chat room who have never been on a panel or would like to be on a panel to maybe come on with me someday and let us get your perspective. So those of you who are interested in that, email me as well at coldwave06@gmail.com, coldwave06@gmail.com. And let me know if you have an interest in coming into a panel so that we can get the mods and everyone involved. And for those of you who are moderators on my channel, I definitely need to get in contact with you so that we can meet together to discuss how we want to have things operating in the chat room. You know, you got those trolls out there. And if you got someone in there trolling, I want them immediately removed. I want them booted out. They get the boot completely out. We have no room for nonsense and BS. Thank you. And I would leave you with this as my last special effect, because as Black men, we must rule and control and discipline our family with an iron fist. And here you go as my conclusion.
You know, and I break our asses to providing that y'all making mutiny. No more music, period. It's all right. Your ass down. And no more going out. After school, you're going to come straight home. You do your homework, your chores, you eat your dinner, brush your teeth, wash your ass, and go to fucking sleep.